It's the HomeTech Podcast for Friday, December 9th, 2022. From Sarasota, Florida, I'm Seth Johnson.
And from Pickering, Ontario, I'm Gavin Campbell.
And welcome to the HomeTech Podcast, a podcast about all aspects of home technology and home automation. And Gavin, I got some big news. Well, first of all, TJ not here tonight. He's taking the week off. That's cool.
That's cool.
We'll get him back.
Yeah.
We may edit him in random spots. You can't stop us.
One less person to pay.
Yeah, exactly. There's plenty of PTO. I mean, yeah, that's it. Let's see. Gavin, I got some big news though. Fiber is coming, man. The crews are like working down the street. There's like two of those big giant underground tunneling machine things they have.
Yeah.
Where they push they're doing conduit right now.
Yes.
And then I assume they come back and put the conduit, the fiber through that. All the boxes are showing up in my neighbor's yards, and they are presently, like one of the big machines is presently in my neighbor's yard, kind of in between the two yards, and they're, making their way this way. So I'm super excited. We're getting close to having fiber at some point.
That's awesome. We actually got all that run and hooked up, and it's all hooked up to my house and everything this summer. But then they gave me like the price of how much the fiber internet was going to cost me per month. So now I'm waiting on the competition to kick in so that they start offering the deals to get me to come over. So I have all the cables there. Everything's there. It's all ready to go. I'm just waiting on them to come and offer me like a massive discount to switch over. And the one thing, I don't know if you'll run into this, but when they dug up my yard, they ruined pieces of the grass and everything. They ran their trenches. Yeah. And then they came back and they threw down some magic seed. And I don't know what's in the seed, but that grass with no water is growing taller than all my other grass that I've watered and fertilized and everything else. It's 5 degrees out right now. We're in our winter phase, and that grass is still growing. Like, I almost had to go out and cut it the other day just where they fixed it because it's sticking up above everything else. And it's going to look awkward next year because it's like a different shade of green, right? So that's even worse. So now I have it's a light green. So I'm trying to track the guys down so I can get like a bag of that stuff and just cover my lawn in it. Because that's the type, I don't know if it's like Florida grass, but that
I was saying if it's just growing in the winter, it's Florida grass because it just doesn't stop. I was out there mowing. I actually mowed today. But it's growing slower. I'll give it that. It doesn't grow since it's not raining every single day. It's growing slower, and I have to knock down the backyard a little bit to let the little Clippy go back there and mow. Little Clippy mowed the side yard today.
Okay.
And I kind of left him out there for a few hours, and he kind of bounced back and forth in this little side area and did a pretty good job. I went out there and looked at it today. I was like, oh. Yeah, acceptable, Clippy. Did a good job.
I'm so jealous of Clippy. I was looking at, videos and, robotic lawnmowers, and the wife reassured me once again, we do not need one. So it's going to take me some time to break her down. I'm working on it.
I guess, I'm hoping that, once I get, so I used the big lawnmower before I don't know, something's wrong with it. I'm done messing with it, but I used it to get about halfway through the backyard before I kind of had to stop and come inside. But I ran over the wire and broke the wire. So I had to do my first wire repair that I caused. I figured it'd be like the neighbors and their giant, lawn service or something. Nope, it was me. I ran over the boundary wire. Had to go back out there and put it back in the ground, do a splice. Luckily, I bought extra splice cable and all that good stuff. So
you'll learn from your mistakes.
Yeah, I probably want. I'm hoping I don't have to do that again because, for one thing, I'm going to just put that lawnmower out down by the street and somebody can just take off with it because I am done with that stupid thing. And it can become somebody else's headache. And I will just use a little push mower if I have to. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm hoping that soon I'll be able to just turn him loose in the whole yard, just schedule it up and say, go mow, this day, go just have at it, go mow, and just set them out there for X amount of time every single day. See what happens.
That'll be awesome. I'm looking forward to see how well that works out for you.
Who knows? It'll work well until the Florida grass takes over, and then just like you, it'd be like 10 feet tall and he's stuck upside down somehow. Somehow the grass fought back and turned him upside down. He's stuck like a turtle.
And then you'll have to borrow the neighbor's mower, and you'll have no mower. I see where this is going.
Yeah. Oh, well, we'll see. It's just going to escalate. I'll just upgrade his motor or something.
Did you build him a house yet? Or is he
Not
still like exposed to the elements?
Still exposed. Sad little guy. I'm still trying to figure out how to do that. I think I have some ideas. I'm not going to build him an extensive garage that I've seen the other ones have, but
just put an IKEA table over him, like, and then send it to IKEA Hacks so that they can post a picture of it, like, and then you can mount a rack in there too.
It's like, it's a 19-inch rack and a lawnmower garage. Yeah, that'd be a good idea. That's funny. All right, well, we got a couple of stories tonight, so what do you say we jump into a few of these HomeTech headlines?
Let's do it.
All right, well, Amazon has pushed out an update for the Echo Show 15, and now you can use it as a tiny little 15-inch TV. It's kind of cool. The company released a promised free update. It brings a Fire TV interface to the smart display, and as on other devices, you can stream directly from a range of apps, including Netflix, Prime Video, and YouTube, all with the on-screen carousel that helps you find the content and resume shows. Pretty familiar interface, looks like, for anybody who's using the Fire TV. But having like the design where you have a touchscreen, it's kind of neat that you can have all of that kind of just right on one device and have a tiny little TV on your desk if you wanted. Be perfect for streaming like the World Cup and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm not shocked that they did this. Actually, I think when the show 15 first came out, there were some people that actually thought it would be a great TV if they used it like that. So, I think some people predicted this was going to happen. And I think it's a great use case. Just turn it into a TV. It sits next to your monitor on your desk, and you can watch.
Or in the kitchen, like it's a perfect kitchen device. Yeah.
YouTube videos playing or something like that. Like, and it's a good size, and it looks great on the wall too. So, I think that may convince me to grab one.
Yeah, it says normally it costs around $250, but they are sweetening the deal right now, and it's $195. So you can buy some kind of bundle altogether. Let's see what's in that bundle. Oh, it comes with a remote, I guess, that you can, because they have that separate remote that you can use for the Fire TVs now. So, and that's pretty cool. A high price for a 15-inch TV, but it does all this other stuff. So they need to make some money anyway, right?
They have a long way to go, though.
Yep, a lot of $250 TVs to sell. So, all right, we're moving on here. Oh, we do want to kind of mention one thing. We noticed that on Eero, on their blog, they had done a quick post about Eero internet backup. We thought that was kind of cool. Again, another kind of free updates pushed out to Eero devices. And with internet backup, it allows you to basically use a mobile hotspot or another Wi-Fi network as a backup if your wired internet goes down. So kind of like we saw that being used here in the hurricane. If you had a hotspot, some routers had the ability to connect to that and kind of like use it as your primary internet connection until Comcast or Verizon or Fios or whatever it is comes back on. Would have been nice to have, but now if you're an Eero customer or you're Eero router user, it's built right in. So that's pretty cool.
I think that's a really cool backup. The only thing, it's part of the Eero Plus plan or whatever they call it. So it's something you're gonna have to pay for. But like you mentioned a few use cases right there, and if you live in an area where you have a lot of outages, that especially we're all working from home now, we can't afford sometimes to be offline.
Yeah,
it's a great backup.
No, I definitely had to. In some cases, while I had no internet, go to places I did, or just kind of be on my cell phone and log into Slack and kind of like say, hey, well, I'm still without internet, but if you need me, ping me on this. And I might be able to answer if I'm not cleaning up trees, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's definitely quickly learning that the internet is a utility that cannot go missing. So yeah. Well, one more story here. Some quick business news. This is such a weird company name too. NRG. So the three letters, NRG Energy, has announced that it'll acquire 100% of the outstanding equity of Vivint for a total transaction value of $5.2 billion, which consists of approximately $2.8 billion in cash and the assumption of $2.4 billion of debt, net of the cash. So basically, this NRG Energy company has basically acquired Vivint Smart Home, which it's very large. The number 2 company in the CE Pro Top 100, has 2 million customers paying about $66 a month for monitoring. Has about 7.4 million customers. If you do the math on that, it's a few $billion a year in billion with a B, a few $billion a year in reoccurring revenue that they're getting. Crazy amount of money to think about. And NRG Energy seems to think that's something good and they want to get involved with it. So will be interesting to see. I've never heard of NRG Energy. It's probably a good home for these big businesses, but I'm sure that the Vivint brand isn't going anywhere, and they're not going to call it Smarty Smart Home or something. I don't know. Like, it's a horribly named company, but they're probably just going to keep the Vivint branding because that'd be something smart to do.
I just want to say energy. You know, like,
it's so weird.
It's a weird company name, NRG Energy. I don't know. I've never heard of them, but it rolls off the tongue in a way. Maybe they'll call it Vivint, you know, after they acquire it. I don't know. But you know what? At least someone's taking on Vivint. If Vivint sold, maybe they were like, there seemed to be a lot of debt in there too, right? That they got with it.
I mean, there always is with these big companies. They always cook the books somehow and make it. It's all funny money anyway. So at that point, like, it's just billions of dollars.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what NRG Energy does with them.
I'm sure they'll just make a lot more money.
And then they'll be called NRG Energy.
Energy, yeah. Smart energy. Oh man. Well, yeah, pretty cool. Good for Vivint, I guess. Vivint stockholders and that kind of thing. They purchased for $12 a share. So I saw that it was trading a little bit lower than that before the announcement was made. So if you did have Vivint stock, you probably made some little bit of money off of it before the acquisition. So kind of nice. Yeah, $11.90. So I guess it's maybe 10 cents per share that you made off of it. Oh,
hey, it's still making money.
Making money. Yeah, there you go. There's not much story. There's not many stories going on right now. It's a slow news week, of course, because we're towards the end of the year. We sat down and recorded the Fireside Chat, and we're going to push that out on our feed later on. But we did want to have a show this week to cover a couple of little things and, kind of go over things. But if you want to look at the links and topics we discussed so far, they're over at our show notes at HomeTech.fm/415. We do have some mailbag stuff, but we'll cover that in later on. But we do have 2 picks of the week this week that are both really good. First up, it's this video that's been circulating around the internet, touring Michael Jordan's mansion there on YouTube. So I guess he put his house in Highland Park up for sale, and there's like this, tour thing that happens sometimes on these larger homes to get the word out to say it's for sale or whatever. And you can basically take a tour of pretty much every room of the house. And it is a big house, 32,000 square feet, built in 1995. Nice house, though. I mean, top notch. I've been in a lot of high-end homes in my life, and this one's pretty good. It's very well built and very, very, very well maintained over 30 years. I can tell the craftsmanship and everything. Cheaper homes don't hold up like this. So he probably paid a pretty penny for this.
It's Michael Jordan's home. I mean, I was a big Bulls fan in the 90s. He made a crap load of money, so he's going to have, I wish I could have a home so nice like this that, when people visited you, they didn't even drive to the front door. They just drive to the part of the home that you were in. So you'd say, come meet me by the basketball court, and they drive to the basketball court, or come meet me by the pool, and they drive to the pool. Like, but I have to be Michael Jordan to get something like that. But the home, needs some updating, but it's full of history there. He had his trophy room, I would have loved to have seen the trophy room with the trophies in it. That would have been awesome to see. But the basketball court, if you watched his other documentary that they had, I think what was the name of it again with Michael Jordan? The
Oh
Last
yeah,
Dance.
yeah,
The
yeah.
Last
Last Dance.
Dance.
Yep.
They actually talked about some epic times they had in that gym. Some serious games they had going on in that gym. So that would have been nice to have witnessed some of that. But history. Can you imagine his new home? Oh,
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely things. I mean, not to be picky, but there's definitely things in here that need to be updated. In 1995, this was a fully modern home, and I run across homes that were built in this era, nowhere near this level of finish, but of the same designs. I've run across very similar things. Like a lot of the TVs are still the 4x3 TVs, and they're in built-ins, and they haven't been updated, which goes to show you, like,
it's a little shocking it hasn't been updated.
yeah. But I mean, it looks like there's a Crestron system in there too. So when you have these bigger control systems, it makes it a little more difficult to update that kind of thing on a whim, right? Like you're not going down to Costco and buying a TV. It's got to be re-engineered into the system and reprogrammed into the system. And then also like the cabinetry is going to have to be completely remade and done up. Um, Looks like
Yeah, that would have cost him a lot of money. I don't think he would have been able to afford updating that.
yeah, but I mean, like, where's your priority though? Like, is it on this TV that's off the kitchen thing you never use because you always eat out, or like basketball stuff? It's probably basketball stuff, right? Yeah, I mean, he's got a nice theater in this thing too. A lot of the mechanical stuff in the house. It looks like there's maybe a Vantage lighting system. I don't know, it might be Crestron or Lutron, but it looks like Vantage. One of the things I really noticed that really stands out to me is all the air conditioner vents and AC registers in the house are very basic, like shockingly basic. Like this is one of those things that's like nowadays what they do is they hide all that stuff away, and you can't like you would never see an air return or an air vent in one of these high end modern homes. They build them into the structure a lot better. So that's one of the things like that really stood out to me in most of the rooms when you're looking at like a focus wall or whatever. There's just this giant air register on it. I'm like, wow, that's really weird that they did that, but definitely done differently these days. But yeah, if you're interested in this, what $4 million house? What's this thing on the market for?
I think it was $14 million.
14?
I think it
Oh
cost
yeah.
him
Oh, sorry. Yeah. 15 million.
Yeah, I think it cost him $50 million to build, and he's selling it for 14 and a half or something like that. All I know is you're getting a big discount on it.
Yeah, I guess it's on an 8-acre lot, and it says 56,000 square feet. I think a lot of that includes some of the amenities, but I think the official listing says 32. So if you take out like the full court basketball court and that kind of stuff, maybe it's a little bit less.
You'll have to buy like $1 million in clippies alone just to mow that lawn, right?
Yeah. And maybe one or two can handle it. 9 beds, 19 baths. That is wow. Wild. But it's it looks like a very nicely maintained house too. Like in these homes, you have to have a staff like that maintains. Like you can't just have this house like pay 15 million. Like you're going to pay 15 million, and then you need to pay people like staff to keep over the lawns, the maintenance, all that stuff over years. So it would be a very special buyer to come in and buy this, and then also basically gut and remodel, because anybody who pays that much is going to want to do their own thing. So they're going to spend a few $1 million on updates. So good luck to them. Wow. What a wild video though. If you want to go see what a top of the line house still would look like today, check that out, because it's still got a lot of the amenities that are in high-end homes these days. 32,000 square feet. Jeez. Huge. Can barely maintain what is mine, 1,500.
Yeah. I complain about cutting my lawn.
It's got a putt green out there, like
and that requires professional maintenance, unless it's like fake grass or fake turf or something. But
even then, yeah, the lawnmowers too. I do know this because I have a friend that maintains one of these homes, and the lawnmowers to cut a golf course are not $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. No, they're close to like $20,000 for a lawnmower.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
like you're gonna, everything costs more when you go super high end like that. All right. Well, our second pick of the week is probably the funniest Onion article I've read around technology in a while, and it's things you should never say to your Amazon Alexa. And oh my gosh, whoever writes for the Onion, I mean, they just need a raise, right? Like they do such a great job. But there is a list of things here that you should never say to your Alexa, like please don't collect my data, or where does my husband go at night?
Especially if you're not prepared for the answer.
Yeah. What happens when we die? It says Alexa knows the answer. You just don't want to know.
I like this one. Alexa, order Mountain Dew. Is like, if your Amazon Alexa hears this, it will actually order you the Mountain Dew. So don't say it.
Don't say it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is it's one of those slideshow things. So you have to kind of click through to each one of the things. But man, they have really funny questions and then even better responses. Like, where's the one? Can you sell me meth? Don't be surprised when the dealer shows up and demands $8,000 in cash. Like, you thought you were joking. No, Alexa can order it for you. Anyway, check this out. It's a funny link, and I got a good chuckle out of it today. Don't say anything bad about Jeff Bezos, though.
Yeah. He knows.
If you have any feedback, questions, comments, picks of the weeks, or great ideas for the show, give us a shout. Our email address is feedback@HomeTech.fm, or you can visit HomeTech.fm/feedback and fill out the online form. All right, Gavin, this is your time I'm going to flip the coin this week. It looks like you get to love Home Assistant. Last week was a hate. Now it's a love. What's going on, man?
Well, first, let's get into the Home Assistant news. Home Assistant this week released their new update, 2022.12. Final update for the year. A bunch of little updates, but the one major one was they added official Matter support now. So now when you get their Sky Connect, we have no Matter devices yet to play with it, but they'll have support in the OS now. So you can now, you'll be ready for when Matter gets out there. So
when Matter matters, you'll be ready.
Yeah. They're just getting you prepared. So that was the major thing. I mean, they had a bunch of other things, but the one cool thing, they had like a release party on YouTube. So I watched that, and they had, the gentleman from Everything Smart Home, he released his Everything Presence 1 sensor. So he actually, was trying to solve a problem, and he came out with his own little device, and he calls it the Everything Presence 1. And basically what it is, it's a PIR sensor, a millimeter wave sensor, and then on top of that, he added temperature, humidity, and ambient light sensors in there. It's a little device he put together. And basically the problem he wanted to solve was, room presence, right? And knowing when someone is still in the room. Right. So he made this device. So the PIR sensor will pick up the quick, somebody walked into the room type of situation and trigger your automation. Then he uses the millimeter wave sensor to continuously monitor somebody being in the room, because it can pick up things like your breathing or stuff like that. So if you're just sitting there on the couch vegging out to Netflix, it will still know you're in the room. Right. Mine knows I'm in the room because I'm constantly reaching for the chips anyway. So it knows I'm there all the time, but some people just lay really still. And it's selling for about 100 Canadian, but he sold it out like the first 2 waves of a few thousand of them have been sold out. So it's hard to get, but it was really good to see him featured on the release party for Home Assistant and talk about this and what went into it. And, he built it for Home Assistant. So I was really, I was impressed. He's doing well with it. I believe the 3rd wave is going to sell out in a few hours when he announces that. So if you really want one, just follow him on Twitter and make sure you are ready for it. In terms of my home,
yeah, well, that's the whole thing is $75 US, so 100 Canadian.
Yeah.
And you got to wait till basically May of next year before you're going to see that thing. So, but it looks like a cool product. I mean, it's got a bunch of really neat stuff.
I mean, first wave people are getting it now. Second wave people are getting it in February. So now the 3rd wave, you're going to be waiting till May. So I don't know if I'm ordering one. I really like what he did though. It's a Wi-Fi device. I'm not fond of them, but if it works, it works. So I might grab one or 2 eventually. So that was good to see. Now, in terms of my state of my home, right? After last week's, a little rant about, my Z-Wave 700 USB key locking up, causing me all sorts of trouble. I did get some feedback. I got hit up on Twitter. I got, feedback on the email. I got feedback on Mastodon, which I was shocked about because that was my first one. I'm like,
now we're there, man.
Yeah,
it's real. It's
so
real.
HomeTech.social. I was shocked. I even got feedback on the Habitat forum. So it was great to, get that feedback. And they pointed out one thing, and I should have thought of this, honestly. The firmware on the USB key, I did not check the firmware version. It was a brand new key, so I was assuming it was up to date, but I don't think it is. And I know that's something I always paid attention to on Habitat was the firmware version of Z-Wave, because they did address a lot of these problems in the 700 series chip. So yeah, I'd just like to thank Carl, Matt, and everybody else who sent in suggestions. Good thing, you mentioned that. I didn't check the firmware. So right now I have a 500 series USB key running, and it's running beautifully. My house has been fast. No issues, no lockups. It's been running beautifully. I'm loving Home Assistant again because of this, and I don't want to upgrade it right now because I just got through that whole headache, and because it's working so well, I just don't want to upgrade it. If I don't need to, then why would I upgrade it?
If it's not broken, you don't fix it. That's
exactly.
Yeah. If it's not broken, don't fix it, especially when it comes to the house.
But that being said, I did notice this week that Zeus actually has a Z-Wave 800 USB key listed on the Z-Wave database. So, I'm just like, man, as soon as that comes out, because the thing with the Z-Wave 800 that I'm really excited about is the long range. Right, so that I know. I don't want to upgrade, but if that comes out, like, I'm gonna have to take one for the team, and just dive right in, So Zeus, hurry up and get that out because I'm a little excited about that. I can use a little more torture right now, so
I guess. I mean, you didn't learn your lesson the first time, and at least you have a long, USB. Cable that you can use to reset your system back up to where it works again.
If you didn't have people like us willing to, go through this, you guys wouldn't know what you're in for, So
I know what I'm in for.
Yeah. You know what you're in for, right? But yeah, right now it's settled down. My Home Assistant, I finished the migration. All my devices are over. My new integration, I wrote one integration myself for my cameras. I'm loving it. It's settled down. I actually don't even know what I want to do next, right? But like today, I was showing you one cool thing is when my cameras get triggered outside, I get a notification on my watch, and I can actually watch the live feed of my camera from my watch. And I honestly thought that was really cool. I was in the office today, and I showed somebody, like my dog was running outside, and I showed them, and they were like, "That was live," and I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, what are you doing that with? And, we got into Home Assistant talk, and I think I have another convert there. So, like it's little things like that is just like, wow, this is really cool. I'm watching a live feed of my cameras on my watch from a notification that there was motion out there from an animal, like it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. So, yep, I'm loving it this week. Next week I may hate it again. Who knows? But right now, I'm in love.
I'm going to have to, I'm looking through this. The Twinkly stuff is now supported.
Yes.
Got a Twinkly. I mean, there's so much I like about the system. It's starting to check off a bunch of things for me. And I'm pretty sure if I look for a Control4 integration, they have one. But I'm pretty sure they're using reverse engineered web API, which is fine. They can do that.
A lot of the integrations I find, like a lot of things when you look at it is through some kind of reverse engineering or something like that to get
but there's just so many people doing it. So it's
exactly.
Yeah. If it breaks, somebody on here will hack it and fix it.
They have a counter of the number of people running Home Assistant right now. It was in one of the Discord chats, and I think it hit, where did it hit? It hit 200,000 people, active people running Home Assistant right now. Which was kind of an interesting stat.
It seems like it's low, but I don't know. Maybe I wonder where they get those numbers from.
Well, it's installations in 200,000 installations in analytics. So it again, that's their analytics. So you have to, I think you have to subscribe to the analytics. It's not on by
Opt
default.
into them. Yeah.
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 So more than likely it's like 200,000. I think it's low. I think there's more people that didn't. I know I didn't opt in. And that they're, yeah, they're offline. They don't want any internet connectivity, but yeah, they still got that's still a lot of installations though, and that's why their community is so big, right? And that's one thing I found out about Home Assistant is anything I think of, somebody's already done it.
Wait till you get into the home assistant community store. Is that what's Ty is saying? Is there a home
Yeah,
assistant?
it's called it's Hacks for short, but it's a Home Assistant community store. It's an add-on. Yeah, like it's unofficial add-ons, but they're still well maintained, still well developed. You add this store and then you can add on all these other integrations or tiles or other front end things if you want. Like that's one of the first things you install. And Ty, Ty in the hub was the one that got me into this. Like he's the one that made
Oh,
me
he's the
think
one
to-
we blame. Okay.
Yeah,
All
he's
right.
the
Yes.
one I blame because he's the one that was offering me a yellow one day, and I couldn't find a pie, so I just said let me try this on my server as a VM, and from there it just took off. So he's really caused me a lot of headache, pain.
See, we got blamed for all this rack purchases and all these rack shelves accessories, and now, yeah, Ty, you get blamed for the home assistant. There you go.
Yeah.
The good days and the bad days, you get them both.
There you go. So yeah, that's my wrap up of Home Assistant. So hit me up. Like writing my first integration was very interesting. I like doing this because it lets me know a lot of the details of the inside, the underlying infrastructure. And I actually wrote what I wrote was integration for my Foscam cameras. So they had basic integration where you just got the feed, but I wanted to be able to control like the IR sensor and the light, the floodlight and stuff like that. And I wrote all that integration. So that gave me a really good view of the internals. So whenever you want to learn something, just pull apart an integration, write your own, and you'll learn a lot.
Python.
Yeah, I had to pick up Python again, and then asynchronous versus synchronous was giving me a headache.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I figured it out.
There is a Control 4 integration. Really, all I wanted to do is turn on and off my lights, which I think is all it really supports.
That's the gateway drug. You start off with just turning on and off the lights. But...
Yeah. I mean, I've got a bunch of home kit stuff too, which could probably be used as well. I pretty much use HomeKit on top of everything anyway. That's like the interface because it's native to Apple and fast. But I do like that you can get camera video feeds right on your watch. That's pretty cool, Gavin. That's pretty cool. That might bring me over too to get some more.
And what's
cameras.
even cooler is the cameras don't have to be like internet connected or anything. Home Assistant proxies the video feed. I guess I don't know if that's a proper term, but it basically sends the video feed through their servers to you. So my Blue Iris is disconnected from the internet altogether.
Yeah,
right? Which is pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I would have to do Blue Iris. No, they probably have direct integration.
No, you don't have to do Blue Iris because you can have it go directly to the camera's RTSP stream, right? And it will, like I said, it will proxy all that stuff for you, so you don't have to open ports or any of that stuff.
Interesting.
It's pretty cool.
All for a dashboard. I don't know. Maybe I'll hold off. I'm pretty content with. It's it's one of those things. If it's not broken, don't fix it. And if I fix it, it's gonna get broken through my broken server that keeps crashing. So.
Yeah. Do not host this on your Unraid server.
Man.
That's all I have to say. You got to figure that out. I just give me control to your Unraid server and let me.
All right, unless you log in, you can take care of it. I don't know. It locks up. It doesn't. There's no way to pull logs from it when it logs up. So, I was trying to.
It's one of your Dockers doing something.
It's always the Dockers. Dockers.
It's something with the video card. I bet you it's something with your video card or something.
Yeah, it seems to be running fine. I'm not even using it actually. So it's kind of weird that it would. I don't know. Do anything. I use it for transcoding, and I don't even have. I may have that Docker running, but it's not doing anything.
Yeah, just it running though, it could cause some kind of problem too. Or is the wife messing with it at all when you're not looking?
No. All she does is say, your thing's not working again. That's what I get. It's like the Plex is not working. And I'm like, yeah, I bet you're right.
Yeah.
Because it's very consistent about not working.
Did the kid stick bubble gum anywhere in it?
No.
Like
It's got a glass door on this thing, man. You can't even get to it.
Okay, you got protection.
It's a glass door.
Okay.
There's a key lock. Like she has to find the key. I think there's key.
Is it overheating? Key number 1. Do you have it cooled properly?
It's nice and cool in here. It's nice and cool. It's always cold in the garage here. It's 74.
Oh, okay.
Which is
that's Florida cold.
What 19? I guess I have no idea. Let's see.
19 degrees Celsius, 74, 40. Yeah, around 21, 22.
23. Sorry, 19's.
That's our summer.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. That's not cold. I think you need to put a few extra fans.
That's freezing
in
here. It's very cold.
You need a few more fans in there. Your server's overheating.
There's no way we're going any colder than this. If you walk in from the house sometimes and you hit the garage, it's like, whoa, it's cold in there. You have to.
That's like tank top weather up here, like 24 degrees.
I'm not saying I don't enjoy it. It's very nice to have a nice cold room in the house, but sometimes it's just too cold. It's the humidity that gets you.
We're 5 degrees right now, so I'd really appreciate that 24.
That sounds cold in either C or F, I'm sure. So
yeah.
Don't know what it means, but it's cold. So all right, well, let's move on here. We do want to give a big thank you to everyone who supports the show, but especially those who are able to financially support the show through our Patreon page. And if you don't know about the Patreon page, head on over to HomeTech.fm/support to learn how you can support HomeTech for as little as $1 a month. Any pledge over $5 a month gets you a big shout out on the show, but every pledge gets you an invite to our private Slack chat, The Hub, where you and other supporters of the show can gather every day for an inside look at what's going on in somebody posted Gavin posted a seen in the wild picture of oh my gosh, this is a volume control. It's labeled volume control. That's how you know it's a volume control. With two different, it's a white volume control with a different colored plate, which I don't know why they did that, but it's two different colors. And then off to the side, there is a Lutron Pico controller. Maybe it's a Caseta switch. I don't know. They look the same, but it's mounted maybe, I don't know, a couple centimeters up and then crooked.
Yeah. But the amazing part about this picture is they actually lined up the screws.
Oh, yeah.
The Caseta plate vertically. So, the whole picture is messed up except for those two screws. They're lined up.
So which is straight? Was the Lutron Caseta one straight or was the volume control crooked? Who knows?
Oh, are you asking me? I'm gonna have
go
to
back and look
now. Let's start a debate on the internet. Which one's the straight one?
Yeah, Richard's the first one that posted. Awesome. That just nodded my stomach before dinner. It is.
I saw this.
It is pretty gross.
I saw this and I thought Richard will hate this, and I just wanted to touch the buttons, but I was afraid to for some reason. Because I didn't know what they would do. I mean, if it's a mess like this, who knows if that's really a volume control? I didn't touch it. I mean,
it's clearly labeled with a label thing that it's a volume control. I think you're safe. You're pretty.
It may have been a volume control in the 90s, but I don't know what it does now. What does it control now? Is it still a volume control?
No, it's still a volume control. I can guarantee you that it is. So.
Okay, because they had Sonos in the place, so I don't know what it's controlling now.
It's probably just all the way up. Fun stuff.
Yeah, at least they updated their light switch. So
here, I will. I'll straighten this in Photoshop and post it back, and then that way it won't look so bad, and then Richard will be okay. I'll straighten the one on the right, and the one on the left will still be crooked. And maybe that'll be acceptable. How about that?
Oh, the things I start.
Oh yeah, you started this for sure.
Sorry.
No, you're not. This is great. This will be fun. Okay, back to the show here. If you want to support the show but can't support financially, totally understand. Just appreciate a positive review in the podcast app of your choice. It really helps people find the show that way. That wraps up another week here at HomeTech. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Bye.